Okay, welcome back. So the next formula that we learned was compound interest. So that is what I'm going to type right here. I am going to type compound interest. Hit enter. Again, I want to make this bold so I know that this is a new formula that I will be using. Okay, so in compound interest, we used principal. So I'm actually a little bit lazy, and I like to do things a little bit easier than I like to make things as easy as possible. So I am going to click on A6, and I'm going to drag my cursor so it highlights all the way from principal, rate, time, and I'm going to do the one next to it, because remember, the one next to it was the answer to that. So I'm going to hit Control C, and then I'm going to go down to B13 and hit Control V. So my rate is going to be messed up because it's going to auto-populate something. So it's just going to change it to what it thinks I want it, but that's okay. So I'm going to click on B14 and type in equals and then capital B3. Or I can click on B3 and then I'm going to hit enter. So then it automatically changes. The last thing I need to do, oops, I did that B3. Okay, so the last thing I need to do is that. And so like my time is fine because it's all there. Now, compound interest has that additional thing. It is the number of times compounded per year. And I'm going to hit enter. So that's our N. And then that gives us, and then we want to know what the compound interest is. So I'm just going to put compound interest. And then our ending balance. So I'm just going to type ending balance. So now I have everything I need for compound interest. The only thing is compound, the number of times compounded per year is a number. So I want to make sure it's formatted as a number. Oops, not a percent, a number. And then compound interest, when I'm given interest, that's a currency. So I want to format that as a currency. And my ending balance is also a currency. So I want to format that as a currency. So the last thing I want to do, or not, sorry, we have a lot more, not the last thing. The next thing I want to do is let's go over to D16. And we want to put in our little cheat sheet. So if it's being compounded annually, then that is going to be 1. And so I'm going to create some space. If it's being semi-annually, oops, I'm typing like a crazy person, then that is 2 times a year. If it's being compounded quarterly, then that's happening 4 times. If it's being compounded monthly, then that's happening 12 times a year. If it's being compounded, so we've got quarterly, monthly, weekly, then that's happening 52 times a year. If it's being compounded, so we've got weekly, daily, remember that's the most common, that's 365 times a year. And we'll put hourly. If it's compounded hourly, then that is happening 8,760 times a year. Okay, so that's our little cheat sheet. So let's say in our problem that we are working with, it is, I don't know, let's say it's being compounded semi-annually. So I'm going to type in the number 2 and then hit enter. And then now we have to create our compound interest formula. So the compound interest formula is the ending balance is equal to the principal times 1 plus the rate over the number of times compounded, take it to the number of times the compounded times 10. So we got to type all of that in. So we said that that was going to be our ending balance. So I don't want to type that formula into compound interest because that is just going to be my interest. But I do want to type it in this one, which is going to be my whole thing. It's my ending balance. So when I use the compound interest formula, it is the ending balance. So what I want to do is type in equals and ending balance. So we're in B18. And we said it's our principal times, so shift 8 times, and then I want to use a parenthesis, and we're going to say 1 plus, and then I want to use another parenthesis, so shift 9, and then I'm going to put my rate, and again my rate was in B14, and then I want to hit the question mark key, which is going to say divided by, and we're going to say the number of times compounded, which was B16, so I want to click on that one. And then I want to use Shift 0 to close that particular parenthesis. And then I want to use Shift 0 one more time because now I've closed all of it. So now it says 1 plus the rate divided by the number of times compounded per year. Then I want to use Shift 6 because that is going to let me make an exponent. And I want to use Shift 9, which is a parenthesis. And then and then it's going to be the number of times compounded per year. So B16.
Howdy, cowboys and cowgirls.
Okay.
Jody Barlow here.
Okay, so then we want to do Shift 8, which will be times. Of course, it moved out of it. Shift 8. And then we want to multiply that by time, which is going to be B15. Shift 0, close that parenthesis, and then we'll hit Enter. So then the last thing we want to do is find that, find just the interest. And so just the interest is going to be in B17, which is equals, and that is the ending balance, which is B18, minus the principal, which is B13, and then you're just going to hit Enter. And that will give you just the interest earned on that one. All right, thank you, and I'll come to the next video for the rest of the formulas.